tired of all this media fakery and seeing people that I know and love.
What you're hearing is a news report trying to discredit the truth community.
So I wanted to get that out of the way before we talk about the newest
This is a
Orlando
truther.
hoax, as I believe it to be similar in nature to the Dark Knight Aurora shooting. Genuine people were in attendance.
Apparently people
but
are
so
actually
were all the
waking up.
actors.
And they
Let's
have to
take a
address
look at
this
some of
now
them,
on the
starting
talk
with
radio.
Louis Bourbano. It's obvious,
George.
I would be
one of the main bars in the front when you turn in at first. Towards the end.
Now, I personally know that people died at Sandy Hook, and I personally know people died
He goes
at
on and never any emotions, despite the fact he is an actor listed on IMDb with some of his work.
Orlando, but
Not
I'll
a
tell
very
you,
good actor.
they do use these actors to react, and it's very true. But the events happen, and they're just trying to make it worse. They're just trying to inflame the gun lobby. God, I wish everyone could wake up to this. So listen to Schmidt.
Playing a scared bar patron during the massacre in Orlando last weekend. Well, first of all, Orlando is crawling with folks. There are things that are filmed in Orlando.
But they won't show the carnage in Orlando because too many bullets were fired for one person. It blows the narrative. It's impossible for one person to shoot those many rounds, carry them in, bring them in, do all that. Impossible. Okay, but you can see now even the talk radio people are going against the truth community. They have to, because all this information is making people think, and they're looking. Once people think, they'll figure it all out.
Wants to achieve gun control by the time he's out of
Yes,
office,
they will.
it looks like. We've never seen so many fake shootings and a harder push for gun control than under the reign of Muppet Obama
That's
and his
true.
masters.
All right, let me tell you right now.
His masters, that's true too.
If I ever sense...
Why don't you ever talk about the Rothschilds and the secret government and the secret societies, Schmidt?
Claim of fraud. You know I'm all over it. Folks,
Yeah, you're all over it. You're all over it like this little Illuminati symbol.
Don't be a fool. Don't believe for one moment.
Reject those voices of tyranny.
Real. Actors are using false flag. It's to bring about political change and gun control.
The New World Order. He doesn't even want to say the New World Order.
Don't worry about gun control.
Psyop.
From a staunch Second Amendment.
Keep listening.
Just before the shooting in Orlando, you had the shooting buried today in New Jersey. He was the contestant from The Voice that was shot by this lunatic, this maniac. Oh, there were details on this guy. There were more details that would come out about the guy that shot Grimmy. Look, he's suggesting that's a hoax as well.
Now let's look at Marcus Grimmy. Listen to him and watch his mannerism as he speaks about his sister, who was just brutally murdered.
Christina was awesome. I don't really know much to say right at this moment in time, but I've just been kind of going back and forth, being the same story over and over. And she's awesome. She loved this town. She loved this date. Adam Levine paid for Christina's funeral.
My wife still cries when she thinks about her brother who died in 2006.
This is true. One thing you can recognize with the actors, and there are actors. One of them was an actor. It's factual. I put it on my video. If you just lost somebody, they're in shock, they don't know. Then they give interviews and they smile, and they're a few weeks later, or a few months later even, they're smiling, the Sandy Hook parents. All this stuff. I mean, it's really, now they're trying to get a settlement from the town, two of the victims of Sandy Hook. I mean, look, the government is out to get our guns. There's proof of it, there's documents of it. Documented evidence of this, that there's an agenda to do this. But even this Shill Schmitt won't say the word New World Order. He won't say that there is a push for totalitarian socialist government that was revealed in the 50s that's now coming to fruition. Why? Because I guess he values his life and the life of his family and his job. So let's see what the Shill might be still saying.
I'm not saying this is the company, but it's a company just like it, guaranteed. Let's go back to the home tab and scroll down.
It's giving this conspiracy theorist an awful lot of airtime.
G4S, isn't that the company Omar Mateen works for?
And Omar Mateen worked for G4S Security, but G4S on their website is a client that obviously they use this company for some of their training.
You don't understand about, well, it's a psyop. The CIA, the FBI is behind this. This is part of the psyop to convince they're very worried about this one. Apparently it didn't go smooth enough for them because they don't use logic. They go to emotion. And if you take time to reflect on the logic of the false flag, you see that things don't make sense, like buildings falling at free fall speed, like things that never ever happen. They want you to believe lies so they can bring this new world order in. Now, I just put up a new video regarding some of these events. If I remember correctly, it's titled Guns, Gays, Islam, God, and Country. Check it out. Subscribe here on Truth Talk News Channel 2. Well, subscribe here on Truth Talk News and Truth Talk News Channel 2. And, recognize that we're making an impact where they're starting to talk about giving, rewards. I think it's Huffington Post has a reward if you can prove it's a false flag. I mean, look, to prove it's a false flag, here's what you got to do. Let me see the forensic evidence. Check every bullet wound against the gun, the bullets that came out of these victims. There's 345 bullets. Make sure they all came from the same weapon. And I guess when you do that, you'll find out that they didn't. That's why they'll never do that. They'll never release those forensic reports. They'll never even show the inside of the club how many holes are in the wall. You've been had. Understand it. It was real. People die, okay? I think the worst part of this is that the New World Order is using people like this to actually discredit any information that could have a hint of factual status. So when they start doing this, I think it's worse than that. I think it's even more along the lines of all of the false information that gets out there. It's all part of, William Casey said it, we'll know our plan is right when the American people believe everything that isn't true. And that was in the 70s. And I think that by people running the wrong way, running towards the event of the hostility instead of running away with victims, as in Orlando, I think a lot of this stuff, if you really take the time to look at it, you say it doesn't make sense. Maybe it's intentionally made not to make sense. Maybe that's part of the actor's job, to discredit any real investigation into what happened because of these crazy conspiracy theorists. Something serious to think on. Again, check out the new video on Truth Talk News Channel 2 and subscribe here and subscribe there. God bless you all. Until next time.